Uh, okay, welcome again for everyone in this Monday meeting. I'll try to be as much as informative in this one. For the one of you that are new to this call, I would like to welcome you to JFire family and Janas. And this call is made for you to get an update about what's going on in the market and to get some value of training that will help you to start your business with Janas. Again, my name is Firas Dirani. I'm from Lebanon, coming to you from Beirut, this beautiful city in the Middle East. And I'm with Janas since July 2017. So during basically this call, we'll get to share some information with you. So first of all, I'd like to start with some recognition of the rank advancement happening every day almost on the groups of JFire. So I'll start with all the people that have advanced to executive rank, which is basically the most applicable rank that will create for you the success in Janas. So I'd like to say congratulations for Anita from India, from Mr. Nitin and Mrs. Yojita from India as well, Baria from Lebanon, Khulud from Lebanon, Suad from Lebanon, Muhammad from Lebanon, and Dana from Manchester, UK. So congratulations for taking this small step that the duplication of it will lead you to the huge success with Janas. Congratulations as well for Mr. Mazumdar from India for achieving his Jade rank, Jade executive rank. And congratulations for Carla. Hope you are all on this call. Carla from Queensland. And I like the comments that they put behind the picture. And one of them is the positivity. She looks so much positive in this picture. So congratulations for achieving your Pearl executive rank. And the two new superstars from India and from South Africa, Dr. Annabelle and Dinaz, for achieving your Sapphire executive. Dinaz is the first, I think, female that hits Sapphire executive in India within our team. So huge congratulations for achieving this step in your business, the real step towards building a solid global business. So again, congratulations for achieving this step. So before we start the 30-minute training, I would like just to make sure that everyone is connected to this global information. So if you're again new, or whether you are within JFire for a long time, so just make sure to have your team and yourself connected to Janas and JFire through the events page and Facebook pages, whether it's Janas Global Middle East, Janas Australasia, and Janas Global Africa. This is from where you all get the updates on what's going on with Janas. And for Janas groups, JFire groups, JFire International, Middle East, Africa, and India, and many others. So make sure you are just plugging your team within those groups, because this will help you really belong to this community of leadership that will help you grow your business. And on the same time, it gives this feeling of confidence when people join you within your business, because they feel that you are not alone. So in those groups, especially the JFire, you will get to know all the events coming, all the trainings, everything happening within JFire family, this amazing community that, let me share with you, within this small period of time I'm within the JFire, I feel like I'm getting to start connected with so many people, even though we're not seeing each other. So many people from Australia, from South Africa, and I'm looking forward to meet you all within one of the coming events globally. So just to talk about the coming events, we have coming 3 events in India, which is the 6th of March, the 7th, and the 8th. 2 of them will be conducted in Janas Global Head Office with the Double Diamond Lyndon Birnoff and Emerald Director Angela. and the third one will be happening as well in Mumbai. So for all those details, you can just go to the events section into your JFire Facebook page, and you can get all the details. Make sure you direct your people and benefit from those events. Believe me, guys, it takes only one call probably to one of those markets to create some leads, and this will be enough for you to initiate a market in those countries. You don't need to be present at those places. You can benefit from Janus presence. You can benefit from JFire presence in order to grow your market internationally, and that's why those are made and announced on the pages, so you can all benefit from them. The coming as well event, we have a lead Janus in Kuala Lumpur. It's happening on the 9th to 11th. And I'm not sure if we have still a place to buy tickets, but you can check this in Lead Janus page, Lead, where you can really get all the advanced knowledge and meet all the leaders. We will have in this event Double Diamond, Lyndon Birnoff speaking, as well as Craig and Aaron the Diamond, and we have as well Ruby director Kirsten on stage this time with Lead, and I'm so excited to listen to his recorded presentation, as I'm not going to be there for this time. I was planning to be there, but something happened and I couldn't. Probably next year, or we can have the chance to meet all of you in Rome during the Thrive event. Okay, so again, what's happening in Middle East? We have a planned Janus University. That's the first ever university of Janus happening in Beirut. The market is really growing so fast. We had just 2 weeks almost back a great event with Double Diamond. We had as well a diamond training, and now on the 11th of March, we have a Janus University. It's going to be almost full day of training. And many other product training as well. So make sure if you are within those countries, or even you don't have to be in Beirut. So if you live in Jordan, if you live in the Middle East, in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, anywhere in the Middle East, it's worth like plugging your team into those events. It will be a very nice place as well for your team to visit. Beirut, have a full day. We can support them. So if you are again living in those countries, growing your business in the Middle East, don't waste this opportunity to come over to Beirut on the 11th of March. Spend this full day. It will be so much knowledgeable for you in order to grow the business with Janus. Okay, so let's start. Basically, I was wondering what would be my first training that I want to share with every one of you, and it will be a very small and simple one, but I think it's the first point that lead me to where I am today within my business. And I think this is one of the questions that I always got all the time: what made you take this decision? So for all the people who doesn't know my background a little bit, I'm a biomedical engineer. Basically, I graduated in 2004, and I was working in the field of biomedical since that time until almost 2012, when I got introduced to this industry. And since then, I was like catched by the beauty of this industry, and I never looked back. In 2014, I quit my job, and I'm almost full-timer since 2014 in this industry, and I joined Janus in 2017. And I always get this question: what makes you do all this? How you was able to leave that after those many years of working? And let me tell you something, and it's not a secret probably. I was not introduced to this industry in the perfect scenario. I was not with the perfect company. And even though within those years, it was not easy. Actually, it was very hard. I have been in so many times where it's so much tough for me to continue even and to grow. Especially that I'm doing this business with Zena. Most of you know her, and we're raising a family of 2 kids, and being dependent only on this business it's very tough, really, in many of the occasions. Now, so the one word that can help you really make it in this business, and this is, I think, how I was able to grow and never look back into this industry, which is ownership. I mean, ownership is something very important when it comes to growing this business. And the moment you decide to take it, you will notice that your business will be growing dramatically in a very rapid way. So within those 30 minutes, I'll try to explain my understanding of ownership. And the aim of this is to share with you how I take this, how I see this from my perspective. So I hope this will get you some value, and then you can utilize it while you're growing your business. So the one word that we'll talk about the ownership mentality. We'll talk again about the ways we take full ownership. What are the things that I have to do in order to take a full ownership on my business? And we'll just highlight a couple of points that will help you create an ownership mentality within your team. So let's start with the first point. So taking ownership of your business has two aspects. So the two aspects that you will see while you're taking ownership of your business is, the first one is accepting that being successful is up to you, and that you have the ability and power to be more successful by changing your habits. And that's the first point. So by taking ownership, then you're taking an acceptance that it's all related to you personally as a person. So you are the one who decide. So you are the focal point of the success in your business. And the second point is by taking responsibility. So responding to all events in your life a way that supports your success. That's the second point when you take an ownership. So let's make it in a simple way. So some people own things and some people does not own things. And the best example to make it really close to you, when we say like someone is owning a company, let's say. So if you are an owner of a company, the first aspect that you will have within your mentality is the full responsibility. So if today I'm not an owner of a company, so if I'm working in any place, then I'll have a list of responsibilities that I have to do. While if I'm an owner of any company, then there is no defined list of the things that I have to do. So if you adopt this mentality within your network marketing business, everything that helps you grow your business, everything that you need to do in order to grow your business will fall within your responsibility, not within your upline responsibility or anyone else. So when we take this mentality of ownership, then the other side will vanish. Like you will not be able to blame or to give excuses. So because we always have those two points, and I'll spend some time in this slide because it's very important. Because we usually tend to blame someone or to give excuses for the business not running the way we want, because we don't take full ownership. And this is something we need to really eliminate. We don't have to blame anyone. We don't have to blame even ourselves for anything happening. We just have to adopt a full ownership mentality. So if we want to look at this, those two parts, which are ownership and blame, they go vice versa. Like if you have the full ownership and you take full responsibility, you will never have this feeling of blame or giving excuses. And if I'm always giving blames and excuses for what's going on, then I'm adopting the victim mentality. So I'll give an example. So if I'm someone living in a country where I don't have the market 100% opened with Jonas, and I want to own this business with Jonas, I have two options: either to take ownership and I put myself into 100% responsibility of growing my business, or else I'll put myself in a blame and excuse and victim mentality, where this mentality will lead you to some negative emotions in order to give yourself some excuses and satisfy probably your ego for why the things are not happening, and we'll touch some points regarding this while we're continuing the training, while the other one put you into 100% responsibility. So what we need to do basically is to get rid of this blame and excuse mentality. So we don't have to blame anyone, and even we don't want to blame ourselves for anything happening, or we don't want to victimize ourselves for anything happening. So when I take ownership for everything, I take ownership for my problems, I take ownership for my skills, I take ownership of developing my business, I take ownership of everything. Even when the faults happened, I take ownership of it, I take responsibility of it. I don't have to develop this blaming of or excuses mentality. So we just have to build this sort of wall between this part of the thinking, which is blaming, excuses, and the ownership. And when I look to this and reflect it to the way the business happened with me, I see that this was the main influential point. I was, since day one, taking ownership. I own this business. This is my business. I don't expect anyone to do something for me. I don't expect my upline, or I need my upline to give me some support. I don't need him to give me some education. Basically, if you look to this concept of network marketing, or even business, or even the beauty of what's happening with Jonas, we don't lack anything. We don't lack information. We know how things will go. We know what we need to do in order to achieve. I mean, if we look to this industry that was there since more than 100 years, we can look for information. We just, most of the people lack ownership towards their business. So forget about any situation where you are now, and where you want to be. Anything will be solved if you take 100% ownership. If you take 100% ownership, you will have solutions for anything that's stopping you from progressing. So we don't lack information. Sometimes we lack ownership, taking full responsibility of our business. So if we treat this business as we are the owners, so today, if you are the owner of a restaurant, if you are an owner of a company, if you are an owner of any company or any sort of business, like you are the owner. Just put yourself into this position when it comes to network marketing. So if you are the owner of this company, you will never have an excluded list from the responsibilities. Anything that helps you grow your business falls under your responsibility. Okay, and even if those things are not within your control, because you are responsible of finding solutions for this. So I hope this point is getting clear 100%. So we need to shift our mindset into owner's mentality. So there is no defined list of what are the things that you need to do. It might vary from the country you're living in. It might vary from the circle that you are in, because many times I get calls from people living in countries where, like, they are telling me, like, Firas, I live in a place where people really cannot afford to buy this product, or they are living in a place where this is not their priority, or I'm living in a place where people doesn't understand really 100% the power of this network marketing. Now, those issues or those faults or those problems happened, and they might vary. They might happen in this country more than the other. But in all cases, if you put yourself into this ownership of, like, this is my business, at the end I need to find a solution, time after time, you will stop thinking the way of giving reasons why this is not happening with you. You always put yourself in a position on how to do things in order to make it happen. So that's one of the major points. So always put this balance, or this volume, or this cursor between. The more you give yourself responsibilities, the more you take ownership, the less you give excuses. Once you start giving a lot of excuses and blames and validation of why things are not happening, the more you're not taking ownership. And those two cannot go together. People who reach, people who achieve, they take ownership, they take responsibility. So And one of the great things that I was reading once, like the first step to entrepreneurship in network marketing is learning how to employ yourself. And the reason I like this part in the employment, because it assigns full responsibility to the person. I mean, if today I'm an employee, I have certain responsibilities that I cannot validate why I'm not doing them. I will always put myself, or they put the employee in terms of responsibility towards those obligations. So if today, and one of the beautiful things that will lead you to trigger this way of thinking is learning how to employ yourself. So if you was able to employ yourself in the business that you own in the network marketing, and then put yourself into accountability, then you will be able to achieve big time. Because I'll give you an example for one of the things that, or question that really some people get back to me. Like some of the people come back after a week or two and they say like, Firas, I don't have any more people to talk to. Or like I'm not really progressing the way I want to progress within Janas the same day I started. And what you discover, that they are not really putting the 100%, they are not taking ownership into this. So let's say the concept of implementing the effort or talking to people. So if today Janas said to anyone, like, we'll give you a contract, an employment contract, and we'll pay you in this contract within 5 years the same amount of money that the average diamond is getting all over those years. So if they take all the diamonds, put all their earning, and calculate again how much time it took them to reach the diamond, and then they put this in a contract. So if, let's assume a diamond is getting $1 million a year after 3 years or 5 years, or he's reaching in 5 years $2 million. So they write this in a contract and they put it in payment toward months, and then they allow you to sign this. And in opposite to that, or your obligations toward this contract, is to do certain meetings on daily basis. Like if you are required to do a couple of meetings, 2 meetings, 3 meetings, 4 meetings, 5 meetings every day, if you hit this target, meet those people every single day, then you will be able to take this contract or achieve this contract, and they will pay you this contract amount. So if this was there, I'm sure most of the people will not perform the same way they are performing now. And this happened because of 2 reasons. First of all, they put you in responsibility and obligations toward the contract. And the second point, you have something solid. You have something tangible. You have something written for you. And those 2, in terms of entrepreneur mentality, they have to come from within you. No one should tell you that this should happen. You have basically to write this contract for yourself and put the full ownership and responsibility towards achieving it. Because if you look at it, the same action will happen in both cases. So why not taking in or initiating this action from my side? So the 5 ways to take ownership. So what are the steps to take on ownership? So first of all, the people who take ownership, they show up. So most of the people, or like if you want to just put yourself in a position of taking ownership, come early and leave late, while most people come late and leave early. So showing up, most of the people say like it's 80% of doing things. When you show up in the meetings, when you show up in the trainings, I'm sure the people who showed up in this training, they have a sense of ownership toward their business. They are looking towards achieving something from this business. So showing up is the first part of getting into this. The second point is developing yourself first. So soak up. And this is a sign of leadership. because the more you learn, the more you develop yourself, the more you're putting yourself into a position where you will be perceived as a leader. So if I want to take ownership on my business, I need to develop myself in a position to be able to manage it. So, and the time you will be at the level of achieving a rank in terms of knowledge, then you will have it. And the reason today I'm not a diamond, because I'm not still having the knowledge that I need to have in order to grow a business to a level of diamond. And this is where I'm starting to develop myself. I need to develop, like today, if I swipe the accounts between myself and Double Diamond Linden, I hope I can do this. But let's say I've done this, or they made it for us. Will I be able to maintain the same level of business he's doing now? Of course not. And this is one of the things where we need to start. We need to develop ourselves. We need to develop our leadership. So taking ownership into this part is a sign of leadership. And people always try to learn from this. So if today I'm building my business, I should know about the product. I should know about the compensation plan. I have to take ownership in this. I don't have to wait. So my upline will sit with me and explain to me how I work within my back office, or how do I really get compensated within my business. I don't have to wait for this. And the surprising part, some people come back to me within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or even months, asking about questions that are really a part of their responsibility. And this shows you a way of lack of ownership. So developing yourself is a sign of leadership again. So, and think about it. You want to be around someone who knows things, and this is the person that you will give him the authority to lead you. So in the first part, or the first point to start leading, is by knowing. So if you are the person who's the central, who's the one that most of the people seek in order to know something, you will be the person that people perceive as a leader. So you need to start by building yourself, developing your skills within your responsibility, and within the signs of ownership that you show is you audit yourself. You know what are the skills you lack, and then you put an action plan towards this in order to develop it. And that's the sign of ownership. At the first time when I started this business, I lacked so much convincing people, or influencing people in the right way, not convincing. So I was 100% convinced about this industry, about the product, about everything, but I was lacking this skill of letting this energy go to the other person. But we have two options in this case: either blame, or either give excuses. This is not my business because I don't have this skill, or taking an ownership or full responsibility towards growing the skills, seeking knowledge. We have now almost everything online, everything in libraries, everything in books, everything within the reach of our uplines. So we can go and ask for knowledge. What are the things that I need to do in order to develop the skills? So that's one of the things that really shows the ownership. Don't leave something for the time to happen. Just do it by yourself. And then the third point is serve up. Once already I show up, and then I develop the knowledge, I start to give the sign of leadership, because I'm the one who can be reached for some information. And then on the other point, we'll talk what's the best way to give the information to our team. And the third point is serve up. So because this will build the trust and loyalty with the people. So the moment you start to have those information and build this knowledge, don't keep it for yourself. Because by passing those information to the team around you, to the through videos, or through probably breaking some fears, going on stage, sharing the knowledge that you have, this will give you, and do this without an expectation, or I'm doing that because of this. I'm doing this because only I want to pass the knowledge for everyone around me. You serve up. And by doing this, you build trust and loyalty within your team. And the reason today, thanks God, I have a very solid team that trust and they are super loyal when it comes to building is because we give each other. We have this community of giving, of serving. Okay, so that's the third point. And replacing the why, but by with what and how. Okay, so showing signs of ownership, that means that we replace the why this thing happened by how can I benefit from this when it happened. So people who lack ownership always ask why the company do not do this, why my upline is not doing this, why this event is happening this way, why I'm not having an event at my place, why the price of this is not cheaper, why this. It's always this direction, because this question will always lead you to negative emotions. So if you don't have a meeting at your place, then be the one who do this. How can I be the one who start this market? What can be done for this market to grow? If you're living, for example, in Jordan, or if you're living in Qatar, or if you're living in a place where there is some let's say not 100% smooth going market, then instead of asking why this is happening, you can ask how can I benefit from this situation in order to become the first one to grow this market, and what can be done in order to solve this solution, solve this problem. By pushing yourself toward this question, you're developing a mentality of ownership, because you own this business with all what's happening around it. You own it with the problems, you own it with the faults, you own it with everything. So you need to direct yourself towards this, and then take action. Just do it. Okay, by taking action, you will be able to always realize the direction that you need to go to. So those are the 5 ways that we need to do in order to take ownership. Okay, so taking ownership is one of the major things that need to be done. So how to create it in your own team? So what are the things that helps your team create ownership? And probably one of the major important point is to help by guiding, not telling. So I came to know this point in the way I'm saying it lately, and it's something very important. So at the beginning, while we're building our team, and especially the people who are building this with really a lot of enthusiasm in order to grow their business, and they really want it to happen, sometimes they do a mistake, which I call it babysitting. Okay, so we want the team to know everything, but in the same time, we want to build leaders. We want to build people who knows how to get information. So when you have someone within your team always asking, don't help by telling. Don't help by telling the information exactly as it is. Help by guiding. So if you have an information that's available in a document, guide him toward this document. You can read this document and get this answer. Or if someone is telling me like, you know what, I don't know how to do the enrollment, don't help by doing it. Help by guidance. Help by a video that can show him how to do it himself. And by doing this, you will help him to create an ownership. Like, I'm not ready yet to do a presentation. Don't do it instead of him. Help him by guidance. Give him some guidance in order to achieve this. So this will develop the mentality of people looking for the ways of doing things, not depending on the upline to do it instead of them. The second point is to delegate the right way. So part of probably the points that I was able to take a quick decision in this business, because when I started, I was placed in a position where there is some ownership and responsibility delegated to me, and I'm someone that and I think it's not a personal thing. I think most of the people, they are ready to let themselves down more than if it's related to others. So delegation is very important. So when we have a meeting, make sure that you balance doing things by your own and delegating the right action to the people. So even if it's in the setup of the room, even if it's in the preparation of the sampling system, even if it's the preparation of the setting up the product, so delegate to your team some actions, because this will create an ownership mentality within your team. Create a discussion culture. So when it comes to preparing for an event, part of the people, because they have this full ownership, they do the things by their own, and that's something okay. But when it comes to building this culture, let's have this discussion culture when it comes to an event. Like we always, like almost weekly, we gather together as a team and we discuss what are the things that need to be done in order to make this event happening. What are the ideas that you have within like, or probably we announce this ahead of time, and then everyone comes with his suggestions, because this will always let the people go and seek for ideas, because they don't want to let the team down. So this will create this ownership within them. So discussion culture, have a common plan, because when a team have a common plan, they take more ownership towards this plan when it comes to comparison with their own plans. So those are the 4 points when it comes to creating your this culture within your team. So help them by guiding, not telling. So help them by guidance toward the solution, not by telling them what are the answers. Delegate the right way, delegate small activities to your team. This will help big time by creating an ownership. Create a discussion culture and have a common plan. A common plan will really make a difference when it comes to achieving. Okay? So if you want to summarize the concept of ownership, it's like you're installing your own engine. You don't need someone to motivates you towards the action. You own it. You own this business. Everything starts with from within. You are the 001 of your network. When you have this 100%, everything happening around you will be supporting point. It will not be expectation. It will not be a need. I don't need my upline to support me, but it's something I really appreciate, because I know that this business will go if I start to initiate some action. So ownership will make you install this start engine and will put you in the behind the wheel. Like you will be the one driving, because at the beginning, most of the people sit next to the driver. But at a certain point, you need to take ownership of this. You need to take ownership in order to grow your business, taking ownership towards your skills, towards the training, towards understanding the product, towards finding solution on how to grow the business, how to solve your list, how to prospect more, how to build your global business. It's all falls within your responsibility because you own it. It's your business. Once you will be recognized on stage, you will be recognized for this action, for taking this guidance from yourself in order to achieve. So get yourself into this mindset and your business will go like crazy. You will be able to see how much you have ideas to implement. And don't fear taking action, even if it's different, because every one of us will have his mentality in order to grow this business. So that's the small part I wanted to share with you regarding the ownership. I hope this brings some value in order to implement it. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, let's see if we have some questions within the chat box. Something. Okay, thank you very much. I'm not a boss. Okay.